Solutions. My name is Anipe Abraham, SAP SuccessFactors Consultant, Corporate Trainer. So before I continue to say anything in this short video, so I wanted to say one thing. This is my own view and opinion. So in this short video today, I would like to explain to you about Success Factors Time Management H1 2026 release updates. So on my website, I have already posted some of the important areas. Hopefully that those who are watching this short video or maybe checking this blog would help you to enhance your new updates and so you can plan accordingly to implement these for your customer systems. So now let us try to understand the release information. So as you are everyone aware, the preview release is April 13th. The production release will be somewhere between May 15th and 16th of 2026. So the first, let us try to understand the first update that is accessing the time statement from timesheet and also from timesheet approval center. So, from this release to improve the transparency, streamline all the time related information. Now they are allowing to access the time statement both from the timesheet and also the timesheet approval center. See, what is the new actually? See, the timesheet is something that where you are going to directly, uh, you know, work on your time entry and also approvals without navigating away to separate pages or reports. Now, what you are going to do, you can directly access with the help of the statement all your timesheet information, time of information directly from a time of UI. See, currently it is available on the people profile. So now how it works with the latest new enhancement, uh, from timesheet UI, which is your time self-service. So employees can open their timesheet UI and from there you can enter and enable all your corresponding forms that are created and you can generate your time statement. The same way, you have something called timesheet approval center, nothing but time manager self-service. So you can access your employee's timesheet during your approval to understand, better calculate the time results, exceptions, and the totals before approving or rejecting the entries. So here, the key benefits about this particular functionality, you will get greater transparency that you will have everything real-time visibility and for all your time related results and faster approvals so that your manager employee can no longer switch to different contexts to validate time data. So you can access everything from these statements. And also you can also improve your employee confidence. So these are the key benefits. And here is the UI, the timesheet UI. So here you can see there is a tab you can clearly see. And also the timesheet approval center. So when you click on the actions menu, you will find generate time forms and also directly from the people profile. When you go to the time section, you will find a extra link, generate time forms. And so you will also see there are different ways that you can access all your time related information, like your working hours, schedule breaks, recorded time, what is your start time, end time, how many hours are recorded, you know so what is your planned start time and everything at one glance you can see all your times requirement. But how it was before, earlier release, the time statement generation, it is only fully available uh, only once it is approved. But now you can also see like a pending approval status and everything. So now employees, managers could not view the time statement during the time entry. or approvals. Only if it is approved only, so you are able to see it. So that's why you can see only after the timesheet was fully approved. But now you have the flexibility. You can track everything and get approved on time, all the pending timesheet or time of request. So you can see all the technical details. So you can go through it. And so it's one of the major update and a new functionality. Okay, now let us try to understand the next one. It's about the automated update for the labels for a temporary time information to do cards. So from the H1 2026 release, SAP introduced that automatically the system updates the labels for your temporary time information on your to-do cards on the home page. So whenever through managed languages or a text replacements, when you wanted to customize the standard label, it was not reflecting, as expected. But with this release, all your local, language locals translations are reflected automatically without requiring any background jobs scheduling. So how it looks like, it looks now in the current version, any label changes that you do through managed languages or maybe a text replacement. So when you update a label, maybe let us say, you can see here as an example, label was the standard one as a holiday calendar and it has been updated to public holiday schedule. So you wanted to change it. So the label, when you update to public holidays schedule, it will be automatically updated on the home page on the dynamic to-do cards. And but it will take little time. Maybe you may need to refresh for a short period of time and then automatically it updates. Or sometimes you may have to log out and log in again. So the changes will be reflected and there is no any additional background job is required. No other administrators or technical intervention is required. So that is why I have written here, after updating labels, changes may take few minutes to update due to cache refreshing timing. That's why I said log out, log in again, and it will be updated automatically. So how it was before, previously, label updates for your temporary time information cards, it was not updating automatically. So whenever administrator updates using the managed languages, it did not appear automatically. So there is some kind of job, SAP technical support, they may have to schedule it, and then only it was possible. But now the automation is added. No no other extra intervention is required to update your labels on your temporary holiday calendar schedule. What are the key benefits? The business, it eliminates manual job, no support dependency. It reduces the incidents. It ensures the consistency and a timely updates for your translations. And so there are a lot of benefits and you can go through it. I have added all of them. And these are the some of the technical details. It's one of the minor update. It has been updated with the existing functionality. Okay, next one. We have another feature I want everyone to know about it, and that's get completed months of time for a time type. Actually, it's a rule function. This is, when you create a lot of rules, we have, rule functions we have for time of. In number of time of rule functions we have for every requirement, a lot of for custom setup and etc. But now they have introduced a, a rule function that is to get completed months of time for a time type. So this function, it accurately determines the number of full months an employee is continuously absent for a particular selected time type, which is assigned with the rule function called, complete months of time So when any rule that is created with this rule function, what happens? The system helps you to define the number of full months an employee is absent. Why it is actually useful? There are certain countries like USA and all, they need to calculate the, when it comes to the proration, when an employee is absent for 28 days minimum or more than that, what happens as per their conditions, as per the legal time of, you know, requirement, they say the proration should stop. The proration should stop when employee is beyond 28 days absent. Now, with this rule function, the system can calculate, identify. Of course, we were doing the similar kind of setup with the help of the custom kind of setup, but now you have a rule function. It helps you to identify the number of completed months for continuously absent, and you can flexibly also define the condition not only from 1st of Jan to 31st of every month, or 30th of every month, or 28th of every the corresponding month, but you can also flexibly define, like let us say as an example, 14th of May to 13th of June. So instead of fixed calendar months, so the system flexibly counts, the get number of, what you call completed months of time for a time type. So it is going to automate the reduction, and it is going to prorate the accruals. That's what example I told you. So it is mostly useful for vacation, PTO, these kind of requirement. Again, as I said, this is one of the requirement for USA customers. That's why I said here it supports country, region, industry specific collective labor agreements. So recurring, requiring a full month absence logic. So this will help you to improve calculating accruals impact for the extended absence, like a long LOA, with the pay, without a pay, anything like a maternity leave, paternity leave, or a military leave, adoption leave, pay, partner leave, any kind of leave that is, LOA we consider. So with those kind of scenarios, this rule function is definitely going to optimize the process. But how it was before, there was no deduction rule function for a calculate complete months of absence. So we always, as an administrator or a consultant, you have to always develop the custom logic, like calendar month, manual calculations, and there was a lot of manual things that we used to do. So how the rule function works. A month of time is calculated as a continuous period that's based on the start and end of the date that you specify. But remember, this rule function is only supports if the time type is specific to classification absence. Okay. So what are the business benefits? It is, automates accruals reduction, and also helps you to your proration logic, and it helps you to eliminate the manual monthly calculations, and it creates a consistency across all your time of rule functions. Okay. And also it is going to reduce the risk about manual, you know calculations and etc. Okay. So, and that's why you can see example use case, and you want to reduce annual vacation accrual after an employee completes 3 full months of leave without a pay. So at that time, exactly that's what I said, the same scenario. So this is a very important rule function, helps you to manage the accruals, control the prorations, and etc. Next, another function that we have with this, with the H1 2026 release, that is a replication activation switch for a third party payroll in employee central settings. So you have there is a switch additionally, which helps you control over how the time data is replicated, and it reduces the configuration complexity, and supports global payroll integration scenarios. And in the manage employee central settings, there is a switch now. SAP introduced time data replication on a third party payroll systems. What are the benefits about this particular update? So it is going to control our third party payroll replication. It's a simplified, safe payroll integration setup. And so there are a lot of benefits. I would ask you to go through all this and you will definitely understand if you are going to be part of these kind of requirements. Next, the last update is a new parameter for absence counting rules. With this particular release, SAP also introduced another parameter that is absence counting rules called planned hours excluding holidays. So that means this absence, this enhancement, a parameter, it extends absent counting rules 2.0. We have absence counting rules and we have absence counting rules 2.0. It gives you the greater flexibility how your absence hours or deduction quantities are calculated. The scenarios which are involving public holidays. There are companies like, some countries, they wanted to calculate based on calendar days, not based on the work days, or sometimes your, we can say, planned working hours. So as a parameter with this planned hours excluding holidays, it is going to support with the scenarios like absence counting rules. It helps you absence calculation based on your original planned working hours that you wanted to exclude public holidays. And also public holidays are ignored when you define planned hours for absence deduction logic. So here is a sample rule, particularly useful when you want to deduct. For example, absence counting rule parameter dot planned hours excluding holidays greater than if it is 0. And then you have a logical operand and the time type to unit is if it is a days. And then if it is like, you know, the holiday calendar external code, which is a full. So what the system will do, that will be considered as a 1 day. So the system will count that one as a 1 day as a deduction quantity. But how it was actually before, absence counting always depends on, it was on planned working hours, which would only include holidays depending on the configuration. When organizations have a limited control when absence spanned public holidays, deduction rules required excluding holidays from the calculation. So administrator, they have to always do some kind of workaround logic. So where it is going to fit actually. So you're going, it helps you treat like holidays, non-working days differently. And also it applies the deduction factors by weekdays and count absence independent of your work schedule. So it was only possible if it is like based on work schedule, calendar days, and etc. But with this update, that is the parameter planned hours excluding holidays. Now it supports, based on the uh, holidays, that whether it is full day or half day, you can specify. So here are the key benefits. It is going to help you accurately calculate your absences, not only based on work schedule, but also based on public holidays. So it reduces the manual adjustments and exceptions, improved consistency when it comes to the deduction quantity and with a greater flexibility. So as of before 1H 2026, absence hours may have been calculated including planned hours on the holiday depending on the work schedule. But with this parameter, so it also counts, excludes holiday hours, ensuring deductions reflect only actual working time, fully aligned with the policy. So these are your configuration considerations and the technical requirement. So at the bottom, I also have added key takeaways. So you can go through all this. And so Maybe when you're preparing your system for your client about these time related updates. So this will definitely, you can test it, finalize it, and accordingly update these functionalities in the production during your production release date. So that's all about these updates that I wanted to explain. And thank you so much for watching this short video, and see you all again next time with another new topic. Thank you, everyone.